Domestically, a lot of things are happening. All right, and we're going to talk about the Eurocucks in a bit. But first, we have to talk about what's going on domestically. All right, so Pete Hegseth made a nuclear statement that a lot of people are talking about, and Pam Bondi was just fired, replaced with a badass, it seems like. All right, so fraud is getting cracked down. We got so much shit actually happening on our own turf, and it's lovely to see. I like America taking care of America. I've always been America first. I think that Americans' government is absolutely, not only first and foremost, but absolutely bent to the will and the benefit of the American people. And that doesn't include opening up straits of oil to get to France. I don't actually give a shit about the French. I hope that they succeed and prosper in their own country. I mean, no offense to the French when I say this, but when it comes to our government, I don't actually give a shit about anybody else. All right, I just want to make that clear. So anyway, anywho to lose it. So Pete Hegseth dropped a nuke because I didn't even know this was a thing.
Our great republic was founded on a simple yet bold idea. Our rights as citizens are not granted to us by government, but instead by God. 250 years ago, the Revolutionary War was fought to secure our God-given rights. The Second Amendment to our Constitution enshrines the right of all citizens to carry weapons to protect themselves, their families, and their fellow countrymen. The War Department's uniformed service members are trained at the highest and unwavering standards. These warfighters, entrusted with the safety of our nation, are no less entitled to exercise their God-given right to keep and bear arms.
So, by the way, I don't actually agree with the entire premise. I think that human rights are fake and gay. I think they're also not real. They're just social constructs. I don't think that. I think the only God-given right is free will. Other than that, I don't think rights are real. But I get I like where he's going with it. I just wanted to make that clear.
Than any other American. Our warfighters defend the right of others to carry. They should be able to carry themselves.
Completely true.
Recent events like what happened at Fort Stewart,
that's right,
Holloman Air Force Base, or Pensacola Naval Air Station have made clear that some threats are closer to home than we would like. In these instances, minutes are a lifetime, and our service members have the courage and training to make those precious short minutes count. Before today, it was virtually impossible.
This is crazy.
Most people probably don't know this.
I didn't even know this.
It was virtually impossible
I didn't even know this.
for War Department personnel
this is huge.
to get permission to carry and store their own personal weapons aligned with the state laws where we operate our installations.
I was so shocked. I couldn't believe
effectively, our bases across the country were gun-free zones. Unless you're training or unless you are a military policeman, you couldn't bring your own firearm for your own personal protection on to post. Well, that's no longer. The memo I'm signing today directs installation commanders to allow requests for personal protection to carry a privately owned firearm, with the presumption that it is necessary for personal protection. If a request is for some reason denied, the reason for that denial will be in writing and will explain in detail the basis for that direction. Again, the presumption is service members will be able to have their Second Amendment right on post. Not all enemies are foreign, nor are they all outside our borders. Some are domestic.
Completely correct.
Confirming your God-given right to self-protection.
Some are even funded by the Democratic Party.
Is what I'm signing into action today, and I'm proud to do so.
So this is massive. I didn't even know this was a thing. I didn't realize that our actual soldiers weren't allowed to carry guns. I think that's obscene. All right, I love the Second Amendment. I think that's one of the major things that sets America apart from every other country on the planet. That we have a Second Amendment that literally gives us the right to bear arms. And therefore, at some point, if there is a tyrannical government that is trying to crush us, we will be able to stop them. And I think that's beautiful. And I think that's what our country is founded upon, and it's awesome. So I didn't even know this was a thing. This went super viral. Everyone was talking about it. But it's not the only thing everyone was talking about domestic policy. One of the major things that just happened was that J.D. Vance, the fraud czar of the United States, is actually cracking down on fraud. The thing that, he's supposed to do. Donald Trump tweeted, Vice President J.D. Vance is now in charge of fraud in the United States, and it is massive and pervasive, and the job he's doing is in conjunction with the many people within the Trump administration will be a major factor in how the great future of our country will be. We call him the fraud czar, and his focus will be every everywhere, but primarily in those blue states with crooked Democrat politicians. By the way, a lot of people are screaming at him for this, but I don't care. I actually don't give a fuck. I want everyone that does fraud to go to jail. I just think that most of them are probably Democrats, and also, even if he only targets Democrats, I also don't care, because that's still getting criminals off the streets, and that's awesome. Under Democrats, then it doesn't happen to fucking anybody. All right, unless you're protesting, I guess, January 6th or something. That they care about. They'll call you a terrorist if you do January 6th. But if you firebomb buildings and police officers, then you're just, practicing your First Amendment right, I guess. But primarily in the blue states, crooked politicians like California, Illinois, Minnesota, Somalia, beware! I love how he just hates Somalia. Maine, New York, and many others have had a free-for-all and unprecedented theft of taxpayer money. The numbers are so large that if successful, we would literally be able to balance our American budget. Raids have already started in LA. Good luck, JD.
Collectively stealing about $16 million from...
And it's already happening. So, breaking news. It's actually fucking happening. I can't believe it. Right? So, the DOJ criminally charged 8 California hospice and healthcare fraudsters under Gavin Newsom's complicity.
You need to understand this story is this. 80% of the people who enter hospice die there, most within 3 weeks. But in the case of these...
I mean, that is what hospice is about. It's end-of-life care, right?
2 hospices, according to the records, 97% are discharged alive. So this morning...
So, let's understand this. There's a hospice center where 97% of the patients going there for end-of-life care survive. Well, that's either a miracle or fraud.
The feds accuse these hospice owners of stealing millions from taxpayers intended for the compassionate end-of-life care for the terminally ill. Do you have anything to say about those charges?
I don't know anything.
Sure.
I don't know anything?
Sure.
You got anything to say?
Bye. Bye, motherfucker. Bye.
4 years. And
See ya.
He had nothing else to say. So the feds took down this couple.
W.
He's a doctor,
Let's
she's a
go.
nurse. They enrolled hundreds of patients who were not qualified for hospice, but they billed the federal government as if they did, pocketing about 30 grand per patient.
Chee.
The suspects you see here, along with about
A straight white male at it again. Why is it every single time?
half dozen others, they were booked today for fraud.
No!
Collectively costing, again, taxpayers.
Dude, I'm sorry, man. Dude, look at this lineup. Oh, that's just brutal. Oh, that's just brutal. Oh, that's just brutal. It's just fucking brutal.
About $50 million.
I think it's all immigrants, the entire lineup. It's fucking crazy. Remember when the Democrats are like, well, actually, immigrants do less crimes than, actual native citizens. Yeah, all right, dude.
Normally for a hospice, the beneficiary is someone who's terminally ill, and you expect them to not survive very long. But what we see in these hospices is they never die.
Immortal hospice patients so they can keep billing the taxpayer.
The feds also arrested the owner of Topanga Hospice, accusing her of paying people $300 a month to stay enrolled while she pocketed $6 grand a month from taxpayers.
Wow.
This sends a very loud message to all the other charlatans and fraudsters and
True.
corrupt individuals involved in hospice fraud that you might live in a nice neighborhood now in a beautiful house and great cars and wonderful vacations.
But you might be sharing a prison cell with P. Diddy very soon.
But the clock's ticking.
This is a huge W, by the way. This is just a colossal fucking massive W. It's insane. All right? It's honestly crazy. We actually need to start seeing heads roll, bro. All right? And what can I say? Representative Chip Roy has been saying that the next attorney general after Pam Bondi is going to go hardball.
Congressman, appreciate you joining us. What is your reaction to this news?
All right, the news is that Pam Bondi was fired, seemingly, and replaced. All right, I'll get there in a second.
Well, great to be on. This is an agency that is near and dear to my heart as a former assistant United States attorney. It's critical that we have a great leader at the top of the Department of Justice. Obviously, we thank Pam for her service.
I don't. We'll get to the Pam Bondi section in just a couple minutes. I just want to focus on the fraud for now.
She's served the administration for this first 15
I think she's terrible.
months.
I'm really glad she's gone.
But the next person who's heading the Department of Justice has got to be aggressive. We have a limited...
That's right. Unlike Pam Bondi, who is lame and gay, the next person is going to be fucking aggressive. Yeah, please fucking put the politicians in jail. I want to see Tim Walton in jail. I want to see Ilhan Omar deported. I want to see Gavin Newsom cry again. He cries a lot, so that doesn't really mean much. But you know what I'm saying.
Period right now with President Trump in the White House, with House Republicans and Senate Republicans, we have got to be on offense for justice and accountability.
That's right.
I have people that I represent, J6ers, people that are looking at what are we doing about Antifa and what they're doing radically across the country to endanger us.
Crack
Open
down
borders, the
on
radical
those
Marxist networks. We referred.
They throw a rock at a police officer, jail for terrorism. Yes. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just very excited.
John Brennan to the Department of Justice, the Judiciary Committee did under the leadership of Jim Jordan. We've got so many things we need to be doing and pursuing. Arctic frost. I mean, how many things do we have to see before we see some heads roll and we see some accountability? Everybody I talk to at home in Texas wants to see action.
That's right.
On the Epstein file.
Look, that's true also.
They want to see action. They want to see prosecution.
Look, man, that's what I want. I just want to see people going to jail. I'm such a simple man. I just want to see people go to jail, please. So yeah, anyway, anywho to lose it. It's pretty insane stuff. And apparently they're picking up on all sorts of crazy shit going on in New York as well. Much to the surprise of no one. But look at this one. This is insane. Rep. Chip Roy says it could be tens of millions in illegal foreign cash going straight into ActBlue to the Democratic Party.
Going on to write that another memo warned it can be alleged that ActBlue accepted and or facilitated the acceptance of foreign national contributions into American elections.
And we wonder, why do we have so many foreigners literally in positions of power? Democrat Representative Shri Thanadar, known for abusing animals. Anyway, now he's in power, so he could yell and scream about how we, abolish immigration law to import 1 million more Shri Thanadars.
All right. Now, there are no specific illegal contributions mentioned in this report, but it should be noted that the House has been investigating this for years. The last time the Trump administration ordered an investigation to ActBlue for this very allegation, we didn't learn much. But we did reach out to Covington for a statement, and they told us that they have complete confidence in the legal advice that their lawyers provided to ActBlue. And ActBlue tells us what its chief exec said in the letter was accurate, and it works to comply with all FEC laws related to...
Bro, they really responded with, well, we're trying so hard. Yeah, all right, get fucked, you fucking traitors. Yeah, I'm so tired, bro. These people need to go to jail forever. Anyway, now apparently they are going hard after Ilhan Omar. This is Representative Greg Stube, all right? He is a congressman also.
What do you think should happen to Ilhan Omar, given these revelations from the White House?
Well, if the evidence shows that she committed fraud to become a citizen of our country, she should be deported and charged with a crime.
Yes.
It's pretty basic stuff. I don't know why this hasn't been sent to the DOJ.
Great question.
I would imagine she's not the only one in Minneapolis that have committed immigration fraud to get citizenship in our country, and anybody that has committed an immigration fraud to become a citizen of our country should be charged with a crime and then deported.
Obviously.
It's pretty simple. I don't know if there's a statute of limitations on those type of crimes.
There shouldn't be.
And if there is, that's something that I would love to look into and try to pass a bill in Congress that has no statute of limitations, because if you committed fraud to become a citizen of our country or to get a visa to come into our country, then you should be held accountable for that and be deported.
Totally true. And it's just so fucking obvious. We need a country that actually functions, right? We don't need a country that has little back doors that we can get raped by the third world, facilitated by half of our politicians. It's just unacceptable.
So hopefully they're going to, whatever information they have, they send that to the DOJ, and AG Bondi is going to take some action on it.
Ha! I'm glad you asked, because AG Bondi is no more. AG Bondi is gonzo. Bye, AG Bondi. All right. So also, California reportedly lost at least $180 billion to fraud. High-ranking officials and experts claim.
Totaled at least $180 billion. California Governor Newsom responded to that report, saying it relies on, quote, guesses. Newsom says California has been a leader on combating fraud.
I'm sure you have.
Chris Rufo joins us now. Chris, what's your response to Newsom's response?
Yeah, well, Gavin Newsom is definitely becoming associated with the word fraud, but it's not for fighting it, it's for enabling it. And look, even under the most conservative estimates, experts from Harvard, from the Department of Health and Human Services...
I love how the leftist response normally would be, oh, yeah, well, look at these Republicans that are doing fraud. But they're not saying that. but they're not saying that for some reason.
LexisNexis Fraud Division have told us that the fraud in California is unprecedented. It represents the largest financial crime in American history. And scammers have been stealing billions of dollars per year. Some estimates say as high as $50 or $60 billion a year from the state of California, from federal taxpayers who actually send money to the state. And so, look, that's
what the left wants. They want to import the third world and then that don't work for a living and then enslave the native population of America to work forever to fund them. It's honestly heartbreaking and insane. But I love that they're all getting exposed for being fraudsters. It's actually really nice. I really love that. Now, this is the official news that we are getting a change. Pam Bondi is a great American patriot and a loyal friend who faithfully served as my attorney general for the past year. Pam did a tremendous job overseeing massive crackdown in crime across our country, with murders plummeting at the lowest level since 1900. I don't really think Pam Bondi really gets... Anyway, we love Pam, and she will be transitioning to much-needed, important new job in the private sector. That's right. She's getting fired. They are kicking her ass out of the Department of Justice. All right? They're not doing like well, you were okay. We're going to find you an even more important job in some other position in the government. Nope. They are booting her ass. And it's to be announced at a date in the near future, and our Deputy Attorney General and very talented, respected legal mind, Todd Blanche, will step in to be acting as the acting Attorney General. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I think this is great. I didn't like Pam Bondi for a long time, and I'll tell you why. Pam Bondi, in my opinion, lied about the Epstein files many, many times. First, she gets asked about the Epstein files, and she's like, we are investigating. I have the Epstein files on my desk right now. And then she says, there are no Epstein files. I think she should have been fired right after that. All right. Then she says, hate speech is a crime and we will prosecute you. You're doing fucking nothing to fraudsters. Now you want to prosecute hate speech? Sorry, bitch. Hate speech is illegal. You might not like it, but that's unfortunately a you problem, woman. Anyway, that was the second strike. And the third strike, she goes out there and she's like, you care about pedophiles raping children, but the Dow hit $50,000. Dude, this bitch needed to go a long time ago, but honestly, better late than never. Honestly, we love Pam. Incredibly, incredibly soft way to fire her, but she's gone. So Pam Bondi is out, and this was the breaking news.
Kaylee, I just got off the phone with President Trump. We have a big scoop. Pam Bondi will soon leave her job as the Attorney General.
That's right.
She is going to get a different job.
She wasn't going nearly hard enough. I don't know who. Look bad. I'd look bad. Look bad. You need a hard ass to be the Attorney General. And I'm going to get a nice lady. No nice ladies as Attorney General. Okay, get the fuck out with that shit.
In the administration, it doesn't sound like there is any bad blood between her and President Trump. But
that was nice of President Trump.
They want her to go and do something else. And in an interim role, she will be replaced by Todd Blanche, who is currently her deputy at the Justice Department. So it doesn't sound like Blanche is being elevated long-term to the Attorney General. There might be somebody else that the president wants to go in.
I really hope so, because I think Blanche also, he's proven that he hasn't done enough as the top of the DOJ. I think they need to get someone else too.
But President Trump soon will announce to the entire world that it is the end of Pam Bondi's time as the Attorney General. He still thinks...
I'm really happy Trump is actually firing people. A lot of people were afraid he just kind of wanted to make believe that there weren't any issues and any hitches and he just would move along. No, he's shaking things up. I think he's focusing now on side quests like Venezuela and Cuba and Iran. And I think he's going to get back to the actual main storyline here and take down some raid bosses in the United States of America. And he realizes people like Kristi Noem, who was also fired, and Pam Bondi, who's just fired. I think he's realizing that they are the weak links. Right, and he's gonna replace them with some fucking hard asses. You're gonna see. He's gonna replace them with badasses.
That she is a great person and that she did a good job.
Yeah, I don't care about if you're a good person. This is what people say to me all the time. Herb, you supported Donald Trump becoming president. Didn't you know he cheated on his wife? I'm not marrying Donald Trump. I don't care, quite literally, if he's a good person. I need him to be a good president. All right. I feel like so many people are. But did you know that Donald Trump? I don't care. I don't care actually.
And he still wants her in the fold because she will still be an important part of the administration, he tells me, but no longer as the top law enforcement officer of the United States.
Right, so that is huge breaking news, and I think it's really, really nice. Really fucking nice. Bondi, get the fuck out of there. Colossal W that Trump is actually willing to do this. Now, Trump's enemies are very upset about this, because Bondi was a pussy. Sorry, she did fucking nothing. She didn't do anything. There was no major arrest that happened under Bondi. She was a failure and a waste of time. So I'm happy that she's getting replaced. And the CNN retards are very scared.
All right, Andrew, so tell me how you're looking at this. Big picture, what does this mean for the future of DOJ?
This means you're going to jail.
Yeah, well, that's really the most important question here, right? Because we know that Pam Bondi presided over essentially the gutting of the Department of Justice and firings of dozens upon dozens of attorneys. Many others quit because of objections to the directions that the work was being pushed.
I fully support firing as many federal employees as we can. I think the government needs to be a lot smaller than it is.
Basically gave up.
Like, I see people crying. People always, like, showed, like, the graph. It's like, there are actually more jobs lost under Trump than gained. Yeah, you're including, like, 50,000 useless government workers that were removed. And that's awesome, actually.
Notion that the department should be committed to the rule of law and should be independent of the White House. Completely sold out one of the most important tenets of the Department of Justice. And ironically, it seems that she has been fired for not doing that effectively enough, for not making the department enough of an effective tool.
That's right. That's right. She's getting fired because she didn't do enough to jail retarded leftists. That's correct, old-timer. Yep.
For the president and his campaign of retribution and politically driven.
Retribution? I can't believe Trump is arresting criminals because the criminals don't like him, so it's retribution. This is retarded. All right, I love when people use these talking points, and this probably works. This probably works on, like, 40-year-old women in airports that catch CNN while they're, checking in their luggage. All right, but this doesn't work on real people. The reality is, if Tim Walz actually committed fraud, I don't care if he's an enemy of Donald Trump. I don't care if Trump will be incredibly satisfied putting this person in jail. This person committed fraud and needs to go to jail, right? My opinion is, I don't, like, whenever someone says, do you care about, like, political retribution, he's going after his political opponents. No, he's not fabricating evidence. It's real. It's like, why are you happy that he's arresting his political enemies? Because they committed crimes and they're now being held accountable to for their actions. Fuck you. So no, actually, I don't care at all. Like, this works on retards. Only retards actually care about arguments like this, but they're scared. They are really panicking over this. This is awesome. This is incredible. And Todd Blanche is the new acting attorney general right now, and he is actually admitting, yup, we are going to be cracking down on the fraud.
The fraud situation. I love the fraud czar. I'm thrilled that you guys are cracking down everywhere across the country. I know that Tim Walz is under investigation. Where does that stand?
Look, I will tell you this. You are right. This is an important and long overdue objective. Just
That's
today
right.
in Los Angeles, we had a takedown. 8 individuals were arrested for allegedly bilking over $50 million of intended loss from our taxpayer monies. And yes, this includes leadership in state governments. Our investigations do.
That includes leadership. I just creamed. Yes, sir. That's what I want. I want to see political prosecution. I don't care. I don't care. They committed fraud. They did the crime. They do the time. I don't care who the fuck they are. I'm a really simple guy like that. But don't you realize that this is him weaponizing the Justice Department to go after his political opponents? Go after. Are we fabricating evidence? No. You mean they actually did the crimes? You're admitting they did the crimes. You're just mad because they're on your side. Oh. Okay, that's how it is. Interesting.
Because guess what? They are in many ways the actual conduit. They're letting it happen.
That's right.
Anything to...
The actual Democrat politicians are the conduits to the fraud, largely by migrants, which the Democrats bring into the country. Do you see how this works? Oh, they really thought they were going to get away with this shit. Oh, it's fucking over.
Stop these individuals stealing from the American people. And so you're going to see this Department of Justice pour all of our heart and soul into fraud cases all over this country for the foreseeable future.
Good. And you know what? Every single citizen journalist that brings this attention to the government's going to get involved. All right, J.D. Vance is like addicted to Twitter. Okay, he'll see it. All right, they'll get involved. They'll do it. And they want big wins. Right now, I think it's a new Department of Justice. It's a new fraud task force. They want massive wins. And you know what? I want them to have massive wins too. What a fantastic alliance. The alliance between the retards and the YouTubers. The retards being the politicians in this case. Now, this is also pretty awesome. Another one of their top priorities is actually investigating the Act Blue contributions from foreign countries.
Sick to my ears because we're sick of getting ripped off. Speaking of getting ripped off, I don't know if you saw the New York Times is saying the Democrats were taking millions of dollars in foreign donations and may have been lying about it.
Oh.
Are you looking into this?
I can tell you that that is a priority of this administration and this Department of Justice, and it's something that that a lot of people.
But it's going after his political opponents. Well, if his political opponents wouldn't be doing fraud, we wouldn't have an issue. Like, I feel like this argument that I make, it works on everybody. Like, no one, there's no response to this. It's like, I can't believe Trump is killing terrorists. If they wouldn't be terrorists, Trump wouldn't be killing them. I'll just be real with you. I'll just level with you. All right. I can't believe Renee Good is dead. Well, if Renee Good wouldn't have been trying to run over an ICE officer, she would still be alive. The reason why she was shot? She shouldn't have hit an ICE officer with a car. If she just wouldn't have been doing that at that moment, it wouldn't have happened. But she was, and now she's dead. I'm not gonna cry. Sure, I'm sad she's dead, I guess. I'm sad she was retarded enough to fall for the propaganda and commit suicide by cop. This line of argumentation works every time because it's just so obvious. I can't believe Trump is prosecuting political opponents for fraud. If they wouldn't have done fraud, we wouldn't be here.
I've been very worried about for a very long time, and you should rest assured that it includes the Department of Justice and it includes me.
Based. Right. Yes. I'm so happy, bro. I like this guy so far. We'll see what happens. Yes. DOJ actively investigating Act Blue getting foreign donations and lying about it. I am so happy that the Pam Bondi the House of Pam Bondi cards are falling down. Why would you fire me? The Dow hit $50,000. Get fucked, bitch. You were put in a really powerful position. You didn't arrest a single fucker of even remote importance. All right? We gave you a whirl. I gave you a chance. You flubbed it. And now you're replaced. You're fired. I'm a very simple man. I recognize we only have like 2.5 years to get shit done. If the Democrats win in 2028, we might not have a country. I would like to insulate us from that reality. This is an existential battle. Allegedly, Pam Bondi was leaking information to Swalwell, a Democrat. Allegedly, about the DOJ's investigation into him being tied to Chinese intelligence. And I'm sorry, man. Just absolutely unacceptable. We need to be imprisoning these people, not giving them heads up because they're our buddies.